We've been talking about the sad and very sudden death of young mum and socialite Peaches Geldof, the wild child daughter of rocker Bob Geldof, and TV presenter Paula Yates was found dead in her home in Kent overnight. Her last Australian interview was here on Studio 10 back in January. It gives fascinating insight into the young woman she'd become, so here it is in full. Welcome back. As the daughter of UK rocker Bob Geldof and Paula Yates, our next guest, Peaches Geldof, was raised, you could say, in a pretty unconventional household by what some would describe as wild child parents. Now Peaches is a mum herself. She's taken to it like a duck to water and she joins us now. Peaches Geldof, thank you very much for being part of our show.
My God, she knows our language.
Now, there's been huge interest in your life because of your very famous parents. We've watched you grow up. You know, some would say that you had your wild child period, but motherhood is something that has really, I suppose, settled you, and you seem a lot more content now.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I guess what you could call my dubbed by the press wild child period was when I was, 16 years old, and now I'm a 24, almost 25-year-old woman, so that's a long expanse of time. I don't think it was just motherhood, rather, becoming a woman and not a teenager, but definitely motherhood changed me in a lot of ways. It grounded me. I was living in America and, in Europe, and it sort of grounded me in one place, which is obviously in London, where I was born, and my kids are they really are my raison d'etre. They're just so good and they're really sweet, and now it's really fun being a mum.
Oh, Peaches, we were just looking there at some lovely pictures of your kids. You've got two, a son and a daughter. They're just divine. Now, you're a big advocate of what's called...
Two sons.
Called attachment parenting. So what's that all about?
Attachment parenting is basically a return to instinctive parenting. The guy who basically came up with the term attachment parenting is a man called William Sears. He's a doctor and he's a paediatrician, and he wrote a book called The Baby Book, which is sort of the Bible of attachment parenting. And basically all it is a return to the days of instinctive mothering. A lot of the time, mums these days are buying books that are really teaching you to keep your baby as far from you as possible. And attachment parenting isn't having your baby literally attached to you. It's just about loving your baby, being close to your baby. If it cries, just literally picking it up and holding it. A lot of mums do all this controlled crying stuff and they just leave their baby in a room and shut the door. And that, to me, isn't normal parenting.
Is it true you don't sleep with your husband but instead sleep with your baby?
No, of course not. Literally, that's just the press. That's not... No. I mean, for the first 2 months of my newborn, when they were both newborns' lives, we had to sleep in separate beds purely because my husband could not handle not sleeping. But obviously the press leapt on that, and now we don't sleep in the same bed at all. But we do a thing where we co-sleep with our children, and we have a 9-foot-long bed. But you can do it by just putting mattresses next to each other, and we sleep all together in a family bed, and it's great. I mean, I don't have to rush out if they cry. I don't have to listen to them cry. I just roll over and feed them. And
is that safe, Peaches? Because we obviously, I think every parent does it at some point just to stop the kid from crying or whatever. And I know that
exactly.
Everyone in the world says, "Oh no, you can't do it. You can't do it. You could suffocate them or whatever."
Right.
And we end up building these ridiculous pillow fortresses and all sorts of things that you're meant to do to mitigate it.
That's actually worse.
How do you do it? Oh, now you tell me. So how do you do it? Like, is there a safe way to do it, or is it dangerous?
Totally. I mean, it's now been scientifically proven that it's actually safer to sleep with your baby than to have your baby in a cot. It's literally been scientifically proven now. So hopefully, that getting more resonance, that fact getting more resonance is going to change very old hat, stuffy beliefs about that. Because, I mean, when women thousands of years ago slept in caves with their babies, they weren't being rolled over and killed, because now here we are thousands of years later, we've evolved to this.
So it's like about 33.
Of course. I mean, it's only in the Victorian times that we started actually sleeping in the same, sleeping apart from our children, and it's just not good, because I feel like when babies are born, there's so many scientific studies that show that they literally have a predisposed expectation of mothers to hold them, like a monkey mother would hold their baby, to be close to them, like a, you know, koala would be with their baby, like a kangaroo. In Australia, you guys have kangaroos all the time there. They've got the little Joey in the pouch, you know.
Wow,
You've got to have your Joeys in your pouch.
Peaches Geldof, we have to leave it there. You have a maturity beyond your 24 years and a couple of gorgeous boys there as well. Congratulations and thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.